Oh, it's terrible. I think it's awful. I think it's absolutely horrendous.
Wait a second. There's a penalty on the play, and I'm like, what?
Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk from two men in the know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
Joining us on the phone, we have NFL prospect and future XFL player Jeremiah Spicer.
I don't know, man. I don't like to talk about myself like that, man.
Yeah. I told him if the Raiders took in Oliver, I was going to take him in the bathroom. He won twice.
Here's the last time I checked, I am God, so slow your roll. Slow your roll down.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to another episode of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, and alongside of me is Mr. Joe DeCapita.
What's going on, everybody? All the know-it-alls out there, welcome back for another edition of Football on the Know Show. We are ready to go. Playoff time is here. Let's talk playoffs. A lot of stuff has happened.
Yeah.
Just last week.
A week
been
without
insane.
something going on, and we always want to say it's not going to come down to the referees, but it always is.
It always does.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us and watching us on YouTube as well. And on Facebook, you can follow us on Facebook and our Football on the Know Show page and group. Join us there on Facebook. Search for us on Football on the Know Show on YouTube and also on Twitter, FB_Know. Thank you, everybody, for watching the videos and all your support. Yes.
Let's get into this.
Get right into the AFC. We're going to do the AFC tonight, and we'll look at it here. Let's start off with the Titans game versus the Patriots. You and I talked about this, and some people started to get on that board too, on that train with the Titans have an opportunity to beat the Patriots. A lot of people always with the Patriots, they had that mystique. They're 12-4. We'll give them that, and they played well in the beginning of the season, and. As of late, though, they've been kind of backdooring it into the playoffs. And that's what I had said to a bunch of people who had asked me who I thought was going to take it. And I told them the Titans, and they kind of scratched their head and looked at me, and they said, you really think they can do this? I said, listen, how many teams go in there into the playoffs and win? Because I've seen it with my Giants before. They've got the hot, they're the hot hand. They're going into the playoffs on a roll. And these Titans have been playing great the last couple of weeks. Get it going. Ever since Ryan Tannehill came in at week 7 and going up into Foxborough, because they already showed this year that a lot of teams, or at least a few now, can go in there and win against the Patriots. They're not just undefeated here at home. You can win there. And with the way the Patriots have been banged up a little bit, and their wide receivers, their crew now has been a little skeptical, and Tom Brady just not looking as good, maybe age catching up with him here. Titans had a great game, well played by Mike Vrabel. It was great to see that chess match between Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick going on. They go in there, they get the win 20-13, Joe. It was pretty exciting.
Well, the student became the master in this one. The Titans, we knew they were the hot team coming in. They were going to be going into New England, a very tough place to play. And we had a lot of confidence in the Tennessee Titans to go into New England and play. And it wasn't just because of how hot Tennessee was, even though that is a plus. However, the Patriots, they've been on a little bit of the downside. They haven't been playing or haven't been as sharp as we normally see the New England Patriots. We've noticed that there is a decline. I know no one wants to say it, but there is a decline with Tom Brady. It's starting to show. He's starting to wear down, not necessarily mentally. He's still sharp as attack, but he's starting to break. His body's breaking down a little bit. And he's not done and out. It's not like he can't play anymore, but we're starting to see signs that the end is near, and the Patriots are going to have to make a tough decision on their future pretty quickly. Other than that, this game was exciting.
Even for low scoring, it was tense throughout the whole game.
It was very, very – listen, I don't think there was a playoff game this year that was disappointing. They all lived up to the hype. They all were great games. But the Patriots, listen, we've seen them, and we talked about it last week, but they like to run the ball. If you can slow down or stop that run, you have a real good shot. The Tennessee Titans didn't really stop the run, and they still were right there in the thick of things and ended up to come out with a win right throughout the game. They were leading most of that game right into the end, and then they pulled it off.
And you could see they were doing a lot of man coverage, which we've always said. Again, you got to play the Patriots in man.
Yep.
And whenever they did, that's even when you saw Tom Brady would go to the check down or where he had to burn a few timeouts. And that's where it happened towards when they were going into for their scoring drive, it looked like. They're right there around the 1-yard line. And then after burning 2 timeouts, this is the questionable thing here with me with Josh McDaniels. They go with 3 runs to Sony Michel to the left and in the middle and just stuffed every time and forced to settle for the field goal there. And that was a big moment, pivotal moment in this game to where you stop the Patriots. Looked like you were going to drive through and do the Patriot thing and go through and take the lead on this game. And they shut them down. The Titans have a big stop there. And the one thing we always say about Bill Belichick, and everybody knows this, say take away your best, your asset
your
here.
best weapon.
They didn't do that at all. Derrick Henry here was able to get 182 yards rushing and with a touchdown. And that one drive, it was all him. When they came back after the Patriots came up on them and they had to score back and they needed these points, they just took Derrick Henry all the way down with it. And he was just trucking.
For the Patriots defense, that's always been their Achilles heel. Is the run game, stopping the run. And now here you have the Tennessee Titans in your own home, and your job is to try to stop Derrick Henry, the leading rusher in the league, an offense that has really come together since Week 7 when Ryan Tannehill took that team over. That's a tall order to ask of the Patriots. I know they were a hot defense early on in the season, but they failed to stop or slow down the run, and this was a tall order for them. Derrick Henry, he just ran through them like butter. It was no stopping him, and because of that, I think that gave the Titans a huge boost in confidence when they were in New England.
And what helped with this team, too, is that when Ryan Tannehill, this is why you have a guy like that veteran, to where he didn't make mistakes there in throwing, because he didn't throw that often. But when he did,
have to.
he made the big plays, and especially that big third down towards the end of the game to keep that clock running, to keep him having the possession to where the Patriots had to force their timeouts and keep going. But the other main thing in this game is the chess match that was going with Mike Vrabel and Bill Belichick. On that possession, there was about 5 minutes and 45 seconds going, and they have to punt. They're finally
6
forced
minutes,
into
they
have to go into fourth down. The Titans have to punt, and Mike Vrabel, knowing the rules there, goes with the delay of game, and Bill Belichick already jumped onto it right there. He was already in the referee's ear. He was livid, going off to him because he knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Because he's done this trick. And this is, like you said, the student learning from the master, now the student now jumping up
becomes the
master. Does the false start afterwards, and it was a big debacle. People were like, "Oh no, I don't know. You think you do this?
So the
this
clock restarts until you get to that 5-minute mark.
Absolutely.
After the 5-minute mark, it will no longer continue to run.
To restart. So.
It'll only run on the snap of the ball. So it was very clever. It was another move that Mike Vrabel clearly has learned underneath Bill Belichick when he was a player.
Every little rule to get around.
So, listen, he used it, and it's something that Bill Belichick would have used against Mike Vrabel if was given the opportunity. So now Mike Vrabel turns the tables on him, uses it against him, wastes more clock before he even has to really punt the ball. It was a brilliant idea, and it worked out tremendously for him because not only it got rid of that 1.5 to 2 minutes before they had to punt, but also you're giving them back the ball, and you're already shaved off about a couple of minutes, and they have to still travel all the way down the football field, and they used up all their timeouts. And it worked to perfection.
And also at the end of the game, that amazing punt after it all said and done, to where it wasn't exactly a squib, it was a line drive, and then they let it bounce, and it rolled right to the 1-yard line.
Oh, it was perfect.
Absolute great execution by everybody for the Titans, and leaving Tom Brady pinned up against his goal line. And then he had thrown to the receiver, and again, you got these receivers have been letting them down in that whole game. Even Julian Edelman missed a easy catch for a third down conversion.
Which is pretty crazy because Julian Edelman, to my surprise, he has the most drops in the league this year. Everybody,
yeah, absolutely.
I know you probably don't believe it, but go ahead and look it up. He has the most drops in the entire league. I thought I was seeing double. I couldn't imagine that, but it's true. Mm-hmm. He has the most drops in the league. And listen, he's not a young spring chicken anymore. Just like half the players on this team, they're all starting to age. They're all starting to slightly decline right now, and there's got to be some concern in New England because of it.
Mm-hmm. And again, Logan Ryan almost had a pick six in the first half of this game. Ends up getting the opportunity to get redemption at this one, takes it in for the end zone, and some say he should have just caught it and then ran to the one,
just
or
stop.
just
Yeah,
stopped and just ground
just
it.
Go down.
Yeah, because then all they got to do is kneel,
Right,
and then it is over.
Right.
Instead of go in, you put the points up, yes, but then you're still talking.
Right.
They went for
you still
two.
give him a shot.
You still
give him a shot. Give him a chance.
Absolutely, and keep him out of it. And so that was that game. It was an amazing. It went right down to the wire. I love that game. It was amazing. And now the Titans move on, and we'll see what happens moving on forward with them.
Right.
And also the other game here in the AFC that we had over the weekend was the Buffalo Bills and the Texans there.
Houston Texans, yes.
Houston Texans. And this one, I had picked the Texans in this one. You went with the Bills, but I knew it was going to be a knockout dragout. So you do. I mean, we got the best defense here with the Bills against this offense. What was going to happen? And we got a knockout dragout game. And actually, to start off, the Bills were roaring.
Oh.
They were rocking and rolling. They were putting the Titans on their heels, and but there's a few things in this game that kind of went down here. Some of it is kind of ball management and by the Bills here,
right.
But then also the referees here. First of all, with the kickoff after the second half starts here, the kickoff into the end zone, the receiver, the returner doesn't exactly call for a fair catch. He kind of waves off his guys, tells him he's not coming out, and tosses the ball towards the referee.
Yeah.
And
referee
everybody
jumps
else,
out of the way.
even the TV thinks that they're moving on. They even cut to Lisa Salters, and then the crowd's going crazy. The Bills pick it up, touchdown ruling, and everything goes crazy from there on forward. There's a big debacle, big debate. Bill O'Brien's going over to yelling at the referee too.
Everybody's up in arms,
and nobody knows what's going on.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they ruled. They said no, it's now a touchdown. Now we knew what he meant, and
we knew what he meant.
The ball. So this causes problems with everybody.
It was terrible. And listen, what it should have been is because when the receiver receives the ball, he didn't fair catch it or anything. So the referee,
you can't even on kickoffs,
the referee was a little confused why he was kind of standing there so nonchalantly, even though it's pretty easy to tell he's not going to return it. The referee could have just said, "Oh no, he's just downing it," but the player could have also just stepped aside, let the ball hit the ground, and then he would have blew it dead anyway. But going through the rest of the play, when he tosses that ball towards the referee, that's forward. That's a forward pass. That's an illegal forward pass
on the return.
So the ruling should have been a safety, 2 points, punt the ball. That's what should have happened. What happened is what you just said.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, we knew what he meant." Or it's okay, we're gonna just forego that.
And then,
it's gonna be a touchback and everything's okay. No, the ruling should have been an illegal forward pass, safety for the kicking team, and then you punt, and then the Houston would have to punt the ball back to them. That's what should have happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for the Bills, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So that was a major screw up by the NFL. Not even New York came in and said, "Hey, no, we have to change it to this way. This is how the play was evaluated. This is what has to happen. This is what we're going to do going forward." No, they just kind of wrote it off. Say, forget it.
No touchdown.
It never happened, guys.
Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
and so, I mean, for a fan base to get that reaction, to say, all right, here it is. Now you have the touchdown, and now you don't have the points. And for when people, like, when I see something like that, it's like anybody can have the intention to do something.
Right.
Like, I meant to do that. If you're playing a board game or chess, say,
you know
you're
what I
playing
wanted
chess.
to do.
Yeah, you got somebody in check, and then all of a sudden somebody goes some other thing, and you're like, oh, checkmate. You're like, oh, wait, I meant to move him.
No,
well, you didn't. You just lost a game. Right? Well, you might have meant to, but you didn't. And then there's an argument amongst yourselves over a chess game.
Yeah.
This is an NFL game with playoff, implications.
Implications,
here.
yeah, definitely.
And that's what you do. All right, so you have that one, and then you have the blind side block here. I've looked at this play over and over again, and at first I was like, well, yeah, okay, I think it kind of is. And then I'm looking at it again because you got to look at it from every angle.
Yeah, you got to look at it again,
here
right?
And there. And the one thing I did recognize here is that the defender also, even though it was from his side, did notice the contact was coming and embraced. He was able to embrace. I think the blind side block is more intended for people that don't see it coming, and you're more out of their vision.
And it's usually on a side hit where you're not even remotely in front of them at all.
And I'd say Cody Ford is the one that initiated. He didn't have to go and go into the block. He could have maybe stayed to embrace himself to block for his quarterback who was already out of the way. But I don't think it was an egregious play. I don't think it should have been a penalty call.
I think it was. We've talked about this before too. Right. We think it's a ticky-tack foul. It's a foul that really didn't need to be called. And it probably shouldn't have been called. I think it was just one of those things where,
especially playoff
hey,
time, you
we
let someone
can get something on the Bills right now.
In overtime, though, on a crucial thing when they're in field goal range, that is a major thing. When it changes the outcome of the game, possibly.
Exactly. That did. It did. Let's face it. It did because let's say they get that field goal opportunity, they kick it and they make it. Points are points, man. And in the playoffs, you need points whenever you can get them because you never know what's going to happen around, on the next play or the next series. I think it was that's another poor execution by the referees. I think that was a very ticky-tack foul. It wasn't as blatant or black and white like some other illegal hits are. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. And then when they are in overtime here, and it comes back to the Texans here, and they have they get the big play down the middle of the field. The Bills go through there. They got the two ends crossing here. They've got to try and wrap them up there. I think you said it was Milano.
It was Matt Milano, the outside linebacker.
And I still even
on the other side, I can't remember, but I think it was either a safety. I think it was a safety, actually. I think it might have been like Jordan Poyer or
I think we said when we looked at it, it was Corey Thompson, 52. He was coming over from the outside. I think it was Corey Thompson because I saw
I don't think it was Thompson.
Either way,
I think it was
a
safety. It was safety and Matt Milano both blitzing.
Had the wrap up, and he kind of went to a spin, pull him down, and just shrugged him off. But that time he interfered with his own.
That was the problem, though. He didn't even wrap him up. He hit him first with his shoulder. He hit him first, and then as he was falling, he tried to grab him. It's too late, bro.
And then by that time, he took his other teammate out of the play.
On impact. On impact, you got to wrap up. And Matt Milano, who's the bigger of the two, completely missed Deshaun Watson. He went forward instead of going right through Watson. And didn't even grab Watson. Didn't even reach out and grab his jersey.
Yeah, he was
nothing.
Taken out of the play.
He just completely missed him. It was absolutely ridiculous. And this is, I guess this is why all coaches, all 32 teams, need to go back in the offseason and say, hey, listen, we have to do fundamental tackling drills because you guys as grown men still don't know how to do it. And that's pretty sad. I mean, at that level, they are in peak top performance, players. They know what they're doing. They know they have to wrap up. But why didn't you? That could have been a game-saving sack right there. That could have put the Texans in a very hard predicament to get out of, and maybe that sack right there, possibly, could have led the Bills to a playoff win.
Yeah, so you're talking about the 2 points there. Now, that in the overtime, you are 3 now. The blindside block, and then now that touchdown that got taken away, which we both agree, it should have been a safety. Then you punt it, the Bills get the ball again, and that's a whole nother issue there. So that is our wild card reactions for the AFC wild card weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the notification button. Join our Facebook group at Football on the No Show as well. And follow us on Twitter, FB_No. And we'll see you guys next time.
Join us next week from 8 till 10 Wednesday night for more Football on the No with Jim and Joe.